enable that.
All right, I'm going to bring this meeting to order. Today is February 27th, 2024. The time is now 7:05, and I'm going to bring the MDOT meeting to order. We have been doing this meeting for quite some time now, and I think we've been getting a lot of traction with getting things done. I've been seeing some issues still persist across the highways, and I've been reaching out to Justin as I see it, specifically up and down 495. It was trash all up and down, but I have seen the crews out on Sunday. I've seen the crews out on Friday, Saturday, up and down 495. And that's not including the issues, seeing a bunch of the trash, along the other state roads. But we have representing MDOT, we have Justin Sosabe, who will be presenting this evening an update to the Route 4 Suitland Parkway project that we've all been waiting to hear what's going on with. Also have Rodney Streeter, who's here on behalf of Prince George's County Department of Public Works and Transportation. And who do we have here for the police department? Is that Corporal Wolford? You here, Wolford? I see you. So in normal fashion, what we do is we allow for those who may be new to the meeting. What we do is we allow for first, we go through the action items, and after we go through the action items and see where we are with these particular issues, so we know where the government is. We then open it up to the community to address a lot of their issues and concerns. And one of the things we have done, and it made it a lot easier, is we've been having everyone put their updates in the chat, because we've been able to capture a lot of the action items directly in the chat. And at that same time, folks like Rodney Streeter or Justin could actually make comments, or if it's a police type of issue, Corporal Woodford, he can respond within the chat. So we're going to go ahead and start this off with the presentation for MDOT that is about the Route 4 and Suitland Parkway project. Justin, the screen sharing capability is open for you. So go ahead and share your screen, and let's get this thing started.
Yeah, the first thing, Senator Charles, I'm going to do is I have William Gover, or John Gover. Like I said, he's the Assistant District Engineer for Construction, and he is on specifically to discuss the Route 4 and Suitland Parkway job. So I'll turn it to him first. John.
Senator Charles, thanks for having me here tonight to give an update on the Maryland 4 Suitland Road project, or Suitland Parkway project, I'm sorry. The Maryland 4 project was bid open. Concrete General was the apparent low bidder, was awarded the project. Notice to proceed on the contract 22-24. Concrete General has been planned.
You, sir, it's very hard to hear you. It's like you're speaking through some phone that's far away.
I'm actually on my computer. Is that better?
Yeah, it sounds a lot clearer now.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'll start over again. The Maryland 4 project was bid open, and Concrete General was awarded the contract. The notice to proceed for the contract was issued on February 22nd. The completion date of the project is fall of 2028. Concrete General has begun mobilizing the equipment to the site. The contractor began clearing and grubbing on 226 on the service road behind the police station, and they will continue until all the clearing is completed. Over the next few weeks, it won't look like they're doing anything because they will be putting up installing ENS control, bringing in additional materials, and starting all the prep work. When the work begins, it will start in the locations where the previous contractor had started the work. And monthly updates on the project will be issued on the project portal page, and a newsletter will be sent out next month to the community about the project. Do you have is there any questions about the Maryland 4 project that I can answer for anyone with concerns? If not, I can get answers, get back to you.
I have a question. This is Tracy Twyman. So can we see the plans? I mean, this thing has gone through many iterations. So can we see what you guys landed on in regards to the design?
Carm, that's on our project portal page, correct?
So there's I believe it's the high level conceptual, like the top level view of it is on the project portal page. Ms. Twyman, if you're looking for something that's more detailed, I can follow up with you about that.
Okay. Yeah, I'm in the process of writing you a follow-up email, but yes, I'd like to see the detailed plans. And also, is there a breakdown of the impacts to the community? I mean, 5 years is a pretty ridiculous amount of time to be impacted. And I think the community is owed explanations on when they will be impacted. So whether they change their travel patterns or whatever. I mean, we've got no advance notice on this. And I think you guys should be at least informing us and letting us know in timely manner what's going on.
Yes, Ms. Twyman, that information is forthcoming regarding when specific phases will be starting and when those traffic impacts will be happening to the community. So there will be advance notice for when specific impacts are happening to the roadway.
Okay.
Quick, what's the first impact that we'll see and the timeline of that?
So as our ADE, or excuse me, as our assistant district engineer mentioned, preliminary activities or site preparation activities are currently underway, and that's tree clearing. So that's kind of happening out of the way, like behind the police station that's on the service road. So those are the first kind of activities that are happening, but that won't have any impacts to the. Sorry, I thought someone had a question. That won't have any immediate impacts to Maryland 4 or to 337, which is Suitland Parkway.
Okay.
We won't have any impacts to Maryland 4 or Suitland Parkway probably for the next 4 or 5 months. We'll be doing all the prep work, building, working on the service road and working on the ramp coming from Suitland Parkway to Maryland 4 South. So there's just going to be more prep work on the side before we start on Maryland 4 itself.
So we're talking about June or July. What should people be looking forward to seeing come June or July? Is it we going from a 3-lane road to a 2-lane road to a 1-lane road? Like what specifically should they be looking forward to?
Let me really get into the plans, and I can get back to you on that with an update of exactly what you're going to be seeing each phase, and I can break down what each phase of construction is like and give you a timeline for each phase of construction.
Yeah, I think the question that was brought up from Ms. Tracy was very relevant in terms of so people can understand, you know, what they're looking forward to. I know my mom or my stepfather drives up 4 to, you know, get to Suitland Parkway so he can get to the Navy Yard. And that traffic is horrible already. And so whatever plans you guys have in place, I like to see those and let people know any way to mitigate those problems and the issues that they already have to deal with today. So.
And like Carm said, we will be sending regular updates on this project, whenever we do any type of traffic switches or we're going to be taking lanes, there will be a lot of updates.
Okay. All right.
May I ask a question on this?
Yep. Go ahead, Ms. Phyllis.
Will this be coming from the district going out to Maryland, or would it start in Maryland? And what is it for? Suitland Parkway. Would it start at the district Maryland line, coming back towards Maryland?
No, it's starting
Or-
over there by, the entry point for Suitland Parkway on the Maryland side is on Route 4, where you have to make the left to get onto Suitland Parkway.
Okay, okay. So what are they building there? I'm not understanding. What are they doing?
We're building an interchange to try to mitigate for all the traffic and try to keep the traffic
Okay,
better on Maryland 4 and installing exit ramps from Suitland Parkway on the Maryland 4 South and the flyover is back in the project originally, then taken out, and now it's put back. So that will also assist with traffic.
All right, that answer your question?
okay, thank you, yes.
All right. All right, did you guys have any other questions on that project? All right, Justin, did you guys have anything else?
Not for him,
Senator.
no.
I'm sorry, Senator Rhodes. Yeah, this is Todd Minor. I wasn't quite sure where this interchange was going to be. If he said that, I just didn't catch it.
Yeah, it's Senator Charles, Mr. Minor.
I'm sorry, Senator Charles.
Yeah, Miss Rhodes is my chief of staff. But John or Justin, could you explain, I hope you guys, John, they're asking the questions, so I need you to chime in. You're the subject matter expert on that, so don't let too much time get in between when they ask the question and you respond.
Okay. The interchange is actually at Maryland 4, at the intersection of Maryland 4 and Suitland Parkway.
Oh, okay. I got you. I know what you're talking about.
All right.
Thank you,
And
sir.
Senator, to make sure that this, to continue to move this meeting along, if folks have any follow-up questions, whether related to Maryland 4 or related to any of the maintenance updates that we're going to go over, I'll once again put my information in the chat so folks can reach out. More than happy to follow up with people offline.
All right. Thank you, Carm.
No problem.
All right. Sounds like we've got the update on that. Becca, yep, there you go. And so, Justin, I'm going to pass this on to you, and you can go ahead and start answering the questions or responding to the actions so we can see where we are.
Yeah, sounds good. I'm gonna share my screen real fast. Or if Becca, if you want to bring up what I sent, I don't know which one's easier. Then we can start with that one, this one. All right, Senator Charles, this is our comprehensive list of the litter removal activities specifically by the Marlboro shop, which covers District 25. Right now, we are looking at the very beginning of when we started this. So it's going to be all the way down, Becca. There we go. So looking through that, and Senator Charles, you have this, I'll send it to Becca. Going through gives the last month history since our previous meeting of what we've been doing. Also have some photos before and after. It's just general shots to share with the group after we have kind of scanned through this real quick before we start answering the questions.
Okay.
And once again, everybody, it starts with the dates. And it goes the 432 and the things you see with the litter pickup, MA pickup, it tells you what the actual activity they're working on. Litter pickup is our crews or a contract crew. Inmate litter pickup is inmates in the state correctional facilities that come out and do litter pickup. And then debris removal is when we're picking up like larger items, a lot of the dumping sites, things like that. And then it gives mile points, which gives us a direction. Or I'm sorry, an actual location on the roadway or a span of a location of the direction where they're at specifically. And then it gives you pretty much the logistics behind what we sent out there. How many team members, the equipment, things like that.
Okay.
And then Becca, if you want to go to the photos.
Now, hey, real quick, before we move off of this,
Yes.
this is, I'm happy to see a lot that's happening on Pennsylvania Avenue. But I see a couple of things that happen on Central Avenue and Branch Avenue, Brandywine Road. Like, out of all of the state roads we have, what roads are we missing? What hasn't been getting hit? Because I'm seeing some places where it look like we're hitting it a couple of times, and which is fine. But what's happening in terms of some of these other roads? I'm looking from February 8th down to the 21st on this sheet right now.
Okay. If we can go to the next page, I mean, that might answer some of the questions. But these areas represent areas that are high litter concentrations. That's why you're seeing a lot of the same roads, as well as the fact that these roads take a long time to pick up. That's why you're seeing multiple crews and multiple days of them being out there. All of the 95 have the exit 3 as the starting point, because that's the location that picks up in the system as the starting point. Exit 3 is down at 210 in that area. But then when you look at the mile points, that shows the span of the area that they've been working in. So that's a little bit, they're not always at exit 3 on I-95 picking up litter when you see that. But a lot of the roads are on here. You'll see one entry for some of the roads that we don't have to pick up a lot of trash on, and then you'll see multiple days and multiple crews picking up litter. Just like for example, Thursday and Friday, we had 11 to 15 members out there on one day, and then 9 members out there on the other day. And just so you know, the 11 to 15 means at some point in the day, people took off and that number dropped. And that's why there's a span of numbers there for the personnel.
Okay.
So with the 4-week cycle, or what we're striving to do is a 4-week cycle, I think if we went through this, I think we're hitting the vast majority of our roads within the month span.
Okay. Yeah, somebody just mentioned, Fatima Kitchens just mentioned about 210. And somebody else mentioned 193 and Route 450 having high litter concentrations as well.
Can I ask a question, Senator Charles?
Sure, Shakia.
Yes, Shakia Bledsoe. Nice to meet you. I'm looking at this list. I'm noticing, I know you asked for us to mention other streets or state roads that are getting missed. I'm noticing all along, it seems like the Southern Corridor has been completely missed. I know there's a schedule for doing it, but this has been going on at least for the past year and a half, down Branch Avenue, Route 5, 301 area, including Accokeek Road, Brandywine Road, the whole area. So I'm wondering, is there going to be significant improvement as far as litter pickup on a regular continuing basis? Or is this still going to be sporadic? Because it's been really bad. It's been people dumping trash in addition to just litter piling up on the side of the road. Thank you.
No problem, Shakia. Ms. Bledsoe. Justin, you got an answer to that?
I mean, I'll discuss with Ernie. Ernie wasn't able to be on tonight. He has a function with his wife, but I mean, without looking through each one of these line items, I mean, I'm looking and I see 210 in February, 301. I mean, they're on here, but I will definitely discuss with him concentrating a decent amount of time in that area or some crews and putting those resources out there for that area, the southern portion.
Yeah, I see, Ms. Queen put on here, she just put in there, what about 201? So yeah, let's circle back on this, Justin, just so I think one of the things I like to see, this is good because it at least this lets us see what's happening, when it's happening, and how much is being picked up. And I know a part of this conversation is, was started from a lot of these high concentration areas and where we've been seeing a lot of trash that needs to get picked up, and like the consistency of it, because a lot of this information can be used so we can put cameras in places to address, capturing people constantly littering or dumping or whatever the case may be. But one of the things I think we're missing, as it's showing as we're dealing with this, is having a breakout of all of the different state roads we have. So the 201s, and where did that go from? What Central Avenue, where does that starting in? Berry Road, Maryland 228, where does that starting in? Maryland 193. Just get a list of everything that we have that the shop is responsible for. You probably already have something like that. So you and I can kind of walk through and then look at, this is what we have, and then I can get a better understanding and see where we're missing. So we can, have some equitable distribution of resources across this, across the district for this.
Yeah, absolutely. Touch on two things that you said real quick. One is the cameras. We actually met with our Homeland Security team on site at a couple of different places in both Laurel and Marlboro's area. More so in Marlboro's area. We are installing 4 cameras with the goal of catching whoever is putting out a lot of these dump site debris and then prosecuting afterwards, as long as we gather or capture the correct information. So that is coming from the state side as well. Within the next month, they should be installed, and I'm not going to get into too many details about where they're going to go, but one will make our 210 friends happy, close to a gas station, and I'm not going to go into too much more than that, but that's one of our first areas we're putting them. Spine Road, somewhere up in that area we're putting them, but they're coming, so hopefully that goes well. Also kind of talking about the debris and spreading things around the county and equity and, getting to all the roads. I have in front of me the money that we've spent so far this fiscal year for litter and debris removal for Prince George's. The Marlboro shop, which once again, for everybody, that's the shop that takes care of everything that is south of 50. And then the Laurel shop takes care of everything north of 50. But they've spent $971,000 this year on litter and debris removal. The Laurel shop has spent $921,000 for a combined of 1.8 million that we spent on litter and debris removal already this year. And that significantly trumps where we've been in the past, as well as mowing. I got those numbers too. They're not really relevant right now because we're in the winter, but they're both at roughly $500,000 spent this year already. And you can anticipate us probably spending the equal amount going into the spring or summer, if not more. So I just wanted to throw that out there since we're talking about it specifically.
All right.
Is that in terms of man out?
Yep. Hey, Miss Jackie. So for everybody, so we don't have everybody talking over each other, please use the hand raising function. So I don't have everybody necessarily chiming in at the same time, because I was about to allow for Miss Belinda to come in and ask her question.
Thank you so very much. Yeah, I just wondered when you mentioned 201, it's so very important because coming up 201 from 50 to 295, it is so much trash all the time. I mentioned that once before, coming up the Kenilworth Wrap, and it's important wrap because it's coming from the DC area, coming over into Maryland, and 50 is going toward Annapolis. So everybody who's coming from the DC, from the capital or Virginia, where they still, all they seeing is when they travel through that area, Prince George's County, is trash. And that's a major area where traffic is. So we definitely want to make sure that we hit that area. And I added also to it that make sure you check your the trucks, because one of the things I noticed sometimes trash seems like it's so much trash, like it's coming off of trash trucks, not just people. And we need to make sure that we're demanding that trash trucks have covering on them, or they're not just letting trash fly off also.
Thank you. Thank you,
Ms.
Mr.
Queen, I'm sorry, go ahead, Senator.
No, I was saying thank you to Ms. Queen, but for everybody else, I'm definitely gonna allow you to get opportunity to speak, but if you could capture those issues that you have in the chat, that'll help us tremendously also, so we can get to making sure that's on the action list, and that's something we bring awareness to. But go ahead, Justin.
I was gonna ask Ms. Queen, if she could throw exactly what you just said, throw that in the chat so I didn't have time to
Oh,
write it
you
down.
know, I've already thrown it all in the chat. It's in the chat.
Okay, I got you. Thank you.
Yeah, Miss Jackie.
Yes, let me ask, I know you have routes that you take care of and you have the schedule. Well, what about exceptions? For example, riding down Branch Avenue, Route 5, going north on Moores Road, it appeared that someone had took their trash and garbage and dumped it along the road. It was very visible. It's very visible. So I called in and someone told me it would take 4 to 6 weeks to pick that up because you guys had already been out here. So traveling that road every day, I don't see any change. I see the same trash and tires and trees. There's no maintenance. Trees are down, tree limbs are down, lack of maintenance. I see the same trash I saw yesterday, the day before, and last month. So the other thing is, how often do you guys follow up and go behind these guys and see if they're really cleaning up? I don't see it. The same tires and trees are down, and that's trash on Moores Road I just mentioned as an exception. It's still there. What do you do when you see garbage that appears like somebody took their trash bag and threw it on the side of the road? What do you do? Are there exceptions? Is there another number to call besides 311 or another ticketing system?
All right. Yes, ma'am. So 311 is for Prince George's County Public Works, or Prince George's County as the government itself, the county government. We have a service request site online that you can add in a concern, or you can feel free to call whatever shop is relevant to. A couple of things, because you hit on a couple of things. One is that we strive to do 4-week cycles at every road. In order to do that, we kind of have to stay doing the 4-week cycles on every road, because once we start pulling people off to go to the specific spots, that's exactly how we end up not getting a 4-week cycle on every other road. Now, with that being said, depending on what it is and depending on how bad it is and how long they are away from coming back through for another cycle, exceptions are always made, but that is definitely a case-by-case basis. I guess with the quality assurance aspect of what you brought up, so there are contractors that are working for us removing litter. And there's also SHA state employees and temporary employees that are out there picking up litter. At this point, because of the quantity of litter and the volume that is coming, that's pretty much what the entire shop is doing every single day. So it's a mix of both. So regarding our teams, our employees, they have supervisors with them, and then their supervisor is a manager, and then there's the overall management of the shop, which is normally, or it is Ernie Johnson, who's normally on the call with us. He's not here this evening. And then ultimately it rests with me, and if everything else falls through. So if you see something that doesn't make sense or is not getting done and you're being told it's done, or we discuss it on this meeting and it doesn't get done, the best thing is to either reach out to me directly. You can reach out to Carm directly, or you can reach out to Senator Charles directly, and we'll get on the same page and get it resolved, or at least have a reason why we're not getting it resolved for you. If it's our contractors, we have a contract manager who manages all the contracts, and he's on top of the litter guys, making sure they're picking out the areas that they're supposed to be removing litter from. If that answers all your questions.
Do you guys do maintenance like tree trimming or pick up, debris like that?
Absolutely. Unfortunately, it's the same people that are picking up litter every day. So yes.
They have done a poor job on Route 5.
I
I've been
understand.
here six years and I still see the same garbage, the same tree limbs down and the same tires on the side of the road.
Okay. Where specifically on Route 5? Or what area of Route 5?
All the Route 5. You
Okay.
ride down Route 5 a couple of days, you'll see the same trash there all the time. From Route 5 going into 395 right at the intersection, there's a bundle of garbage there. I put in ticket after ticket after ticket. Every now and then you may see it move. The 5-6 years I've been here, I've seen the trash move twice.
Okay.
And then you go right across the bridge into Virginia, there's no trash on the ground. What's the deal?
That's Virginia.
I know, but we're
I
not that
agree
far
with you. I
from
mean,
it.
we're on the same
Once you hit
team
the
on this one. I'm
bridge,
not,
once you hit
I'm
the
not the only
bridge, once you hit the bridge, it's the Golden Gate Bridge.
Hey, Miss Jackie, you mentioned
Yes.
something, and I think this is going to be critical. You mentioned you put ticket in after ticket after ticket.
I do. I have a
Can
lot
you-
of tickets.
Can you put those ticket numbers in the chat specifically? So you should have a copy of each one of those tickets. Can you put those in the chat? And for those, the 311 folks or Rodney, please check those. And that, because if she's putting that in and it's addressing the state road, there should be some cross coordination and communication that's happening. If that's not happening, we end up getting stuck with only being able to address it when it gets here to this meeting. So, Ms. Jackie, if you can do that, put that information into the chat. And we're going to move on to the next person. We got 4 people.
Okay, thank you.
Typically we wait to the end to get all of the questions out, but it sounds like we get a lot of questions in right now. And I want to get us to the action items as well. This is just letting us know where we are with how much trash they've picked up. Such. So, but I'm gonna let Miss Phyllis, I think you may be the last person. Shakia, your hand is still up. So Shakia is the last person. So I have Mr. Evans, Mr. Cooper, Miss McNeil, Miss Wright, and Shakia. And I'm going to stop there. And then we're going to go to the action item so we can get through that as well.
Could you tell us what the upcoming action items are going to be for those of us that, are hanging in here just listening?
It's a whole bunch of them. It's the action items from from last month's meeting. So each month, if this is your first time joining a meeting, what we do is we capture all of the actions from the previous meeting. So all of the stuff that we're talking about now is typically brought up at the end of the meeting. And then we add all of those actions to an action item list. And we give it over to DPWT and to MDOT. They're supposed to give us an update where they are with these particular issues, so we know exactly where they are, what we're getting done. And then as we close out, everybody who's put messages in the chat, those are then added to the action items for the following month. So they have 30 days to get back to us and let us know the status of those particular issues.
Can you share the action items for tonight's meeting on the screen so that we can see what's coming up?
Mr. James, we are going to do that, but we're going to get through these questions first.
Right, both.
Right. All right. So, Mr. Brinson.
I did just, sorry to interrupt, but I did just drop the action item link in the chat for you, sir. So if you want to take a look at what will be shared very soon, it's right there in the chat.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. I wanted to get back to Justin. I didn't hear everything you said, Justin, concerning the illegal dumping that was occurring there on 210 and 373 across from the Exxon station. Did you mention whether the dumping material was going to be removed in addition to being having cameras posted? Is that the game plan now?
I didn't specifically try to give a location of where we're going to put the cameras up.
Okay, all
while
right.
we're publicly on a meeting, but we're in talks about what specifically we're going to do with the areas that currently have debris there. Whether it's, there's a couple of different things I don't want to get too far into, so I don't have an answer for you specifically on that. I will email you directly and we can talk offline.
Okay, all right.
Without giving out the
You
information.
just mentioned something also that is kind of confusing when you go online to initiate the service request. There is nothing that I was able to find on there that referenced dumping. And I think that's probably an oversight because that is a major problem in the area. There's litter and things like that mentioned. So you have to use the the check box for litter.
Mhm.
But we're talking about industrial dumping. It is significant
Oh, it
in
is. I
South
agree.
County. And if you all could alter the software so that you understand the magnitude of the problem, that would probably help us also.
Yeah, I'll make that request. That's through our statewide IT. And I normally coming from the other side of it, looking at the requests that are coming in, not necessarily putting one in. So I wasn't aware of that, but I would definitely point that out to them.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Evans. Mr. Cooper.
Senator Charles, for this opportunity. Hopefully this fits into the puzzle that we're talking about here, traveling down Suitland Road and getting off exit to 495. That's another dumping area. I mean, I see basketball goals and all kind of stuff being dumped on that exit coming off of Suitland Road onto 495. And so I just wanted to bring that to attention. I don't know how often I travel that way a lot. And it's, you know, I just see that dumping area there. Senator Charles, I had one other question. I don't know if this will fit into this or not, but county roads, and I know this might be out of, you know, privy, but county roads, like, you know, over in the Clinton area, I see a lot of Dangerfield Road, Dangerfield Place, I mean, trash galore. And I don't know, how do you get someone to, you know, to get in those areas to at least address those trash in those areas? I know a lot of roads probably have the same problem, but I can only address the ones I'm traveling through a lot. Now, Andrews on Old Alexander Ferry, they've been addressing theirs. I think they definitely had people going through there picking those up. But when you cross over Woodyard Road on the Dangerfield Road and Dangerfield Place, they're just a clutter of stuff. So I just want to put that on the agenda, sir. I don't know if that'll be on your agenda.
I'm glad you did that, Mr. Cooper. So I'm not sure, this may be your first meeting. So
it is, sir.
Yep. So we have Rodney Streeter from DPWT. So to start it off as a meeting when we had just MDOT, and then we brought the county involved as well. So we addressed county and state roads in this meeting. So all of the issues that you just mentioned, Rodney, I don't know if you've captured those, but if you can, Mr. Cooper, if you can take those and type it into the chat, that way those areas like Dangerfield and some of the other places that you mentioned,
will do.
Share that in the chat. And so Rodney Streeter, he'll in 30 days, when you get back on this call with us the next fourth Tuesday of the month, Rodney should have an answer for us as to why Dangerfield still look the same way it looked 30 days ago. They should have an answer why they haven't moved or what they're doing to fix the issue. So
I appreciate you, sir.
No problem, sir. All right, Ms. McNeil.
Good evening. How are you? Thank you for taking a call. My husband is going to speak on this matter.
Good evening, Senator Charles. Thanks for taking our concerns, our questions.
Yes,
my question is, Suitland Parkway and Southern Avenue, there's a homeless encampment up under the bridge between the two, the Maryland and DC side. There's all kind of trash and clothes and everything. And it just looks so bad when you come down Suitland Parkway. And so I was wondering if, and the same thing with Naylor Road by the 51 Club side, that seems to be a area where that ramp, where you take the ramp to go on Suitland Parkway, it's like people just constantly dump trash along that area. And since it's a gateway to come into Washington, it seems like, you know, I don't know if you all are working together with DC to try to address it, because that's right on the Southern Avenue bridge and the Suitland Parkway. And it really looks bad. You know, when you come in, it's like nobody has touched it. It's trash everywhere.
So I know, hey, Justin, what are you guys doing with, because that Suitland Parkway is a federal road. And Rodney, I know we had to do, I know DPWT, when you guys first fixed the road going across Forestville Road, which crossed over Suitland Parkway, you had to do a whole lot of work coordinating with the federal folks, the federal parks So I don't know, has there been any cross coordination with that agency? And that's for you too, Justin, either you or Rodney. Has your office had any cross coordination to address issues along Suitland Parkway in turn, or even not even just Suitland Parkway, but also BW Parkway? I don't necessarily see as much trash there as I do on Suitland Parkway.
No, I'm not aware of any collaborations on with litter, just on, CIP projects. And so if there's a need to do that, we certainly can, improve on that relationship and get some coordination going to make sure we alleviate that issue there.
Yeah, it really needs some attention. It's really bad. It's really bad. You ride past, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's like you're going into a homeless encampment. It's really bad looking.
On site.
Right on the side of the road.
All right.
Okay, I got it. And we'll follow up on it and have an answer for you by the next meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Ms. Wright.
I just saw, picking on what they were talking about, they just had something on Channel 4 News with Suitland Parkway where some guys from the district, they started cleaning up that area there. So Maryland have not connected with them. It was a nonprofit group. They went in and started cleaning up that area that they're talking about. But what I'm talking about, Walker Mill Road, there's someone who's constantly dumping lottery tickets. I mean, thousands of lottery tickets from the beginning of Walker Mill Road going all the way down. Thank you, Nick. I've been calling 311 in reference to the carts that was left up there with the homeless guy that left. Addison Road, the water has been running for a month and I've been calling 311. They can't transfer you. They have to give you the number. I've seen 3 accidents there. There's a valve. They told me that there's a valve that needs to be fixed. Whenever the temperature drops, that whole area freezes. I've seen 3 very bad accidents right there at Walker Mill Road, directly across from the car wash, and it went into the 7-Eleven. Thank God the homeless guy that was laying on the streets did not get killed. There were 3 cars this first time. The second time, I witnessed 2 cars. The police had to shut it down. I called the water department 3 times. When I called 311, they say, Miss Wright, we have tickets on there. It would take 10 to 15 days for someone to come out there to address these issues. And I'm afraid that somebody's gonna get killed. Now, I saw 2 accidents already there. And this valve is still leaking right now. Walker Mill Road. It's like they don't care about this area. If you guys ride through Prince George's County, you can see what is being done and what's not being done. We can see the trash. If I can see the trash, you all can see the trash. You hire the contractors, he put up how much money was spent, but we don't see all the work. So 2 and 2 just doesn't add up to be 4. I like to see things to make a difference. Hip Hop Chicken, they did a wonderful job with cleaning up, but then they started using these floodlights that was coming into my house. I had to call someone with that. Went over there 3, 4 times. I don't know if it was a revenge, but they was telling me that we're not supposed to have these bright lights. These lights were so bright, they're coming inside of my bedroom and into my house. I went over and talked to them. I don't want to be a nuisance, but I pay taxes here as well. And I think we deserve quality here in District Heights, just like Upper Marlboro, anywhere else, because we are all in Prince George's County. So that's all I need to say. Thank you for taking my call.
Okay, thanks, Ms. Phyllis. And Rodney, I don't know if you've captured that, and Justin, that will be added into the action. So Ms. Wright, if you can put in, about that valve. I don't know if you've already typed that into it, so we can have Justin or Rodney work with WMATA or WSSC to close that out.
If you go there now, it's still running. It's still running. And you can, I'm pretty sure they have a
I
police
just typed it
report.
in. I typed it in the chat for Nick.
Yeah, and,
All right.
and Senator, I made notes as well, and this one sounds like an emergency, so hopefully I'll get some information before next month on this one.
Yeah, but when you
'Cause it
call
sounds like
311,
it's a threat to health and safety. Well, there are
it is.
exceptions. There are exceptions when emergencies or those items that immediately impact the lives of people in a threatening way.
That
A
was
priority.
definitely
They're a
emergency.
priority. So that's
Yeah.
how we look at it.
So that ice was contributed factor to those accidents that's happening. So, and I know that, and I'm pretty sure the people who was in the accident, they know that as well. So they came out and put salt down there, but I've been calling for the longest time and nothing has been done. And right now today it's still running. So maybe you all need to check into that too.
Yeah, Rodney, if you can do that,
Yes.
like, and
Yeah.
do that as of today, because if it's running water that long,
Yeah.
that's a larger issue in terms
Yeah.
of the wastefulness and what's happening in the community when it comes to all of that water. So we need to figure out what needs to be done. Get a plumber over there, since it's on a state road.
Right, and let me just say this, Nick. So it's where the closed NAMCO is, Nick, and I think that's what they're not paying attention to it because of the fact that NAMCO is closed. So it's linking right there on the where you will be a sidewalk, but it's not one, and it's linking toward the middle of the street. So it's like two leaks that we noticed right there. And Miss Fuller, she's been reminding me of it constantly. It's two slow leaks, but the issue is WSSC, they've been out there several times to fix other leaks, and they've done a bum job of it. But they still, it's like nothing is still begun because they have to see it. They done fix so many other things. So we really have to stay on them about this.
All right.
They said it's a vow, that they need a vow. But my concern is the three main accident. And so I'm afraid the tree in front of the 7-Eleven is split in half because of that ice.
All right.
So if you go over there, you can see it.
Well, Ms. Phyllis, Rodney he's gonna run this to ground with his agency and coordinate with the proper folks to close this out, get the masses. So thank you for bringing that to everyone's attention, Ms. Wright.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
No problem. And so, Ms. Bledsoe.
Oh, thank you very much for taking the conversation piece.
Ms. Bledsoe. Ms. Bledsoe, we can't hear you. It sounds like somebody else is talking on your behalf. All right, we can't hear her. Becca, can you mute her? Because there's nothing coming through. All right. All right. So we're gonna go to the actions. Becca, if you can open up the action items. All right. So Justin, let's go ahead and let's crank through these actions and start getting some answers to where we are. Go ahead.
All right. The east and west sides of 50, the litter has been removed since this date multiple times. However, if you drive down there, it looks like it never has. But they've been doing significant work in that area.
Justin, did you want me to show the pictures really quick, or?
I think we can get through this and then we'll look at the pictures afterwards.
Okay, cool.
Yep. The bushes along that strip, some of them have been taken care of. The ones that were the most of the danger, and the shop's going to continue doing that work as we move forward. Okay, the 495 in New Carrollton, they've done a lot of that work. They have done the litter removal in that area. The update on brush burning, That's not after brush. That stuff is still in progress. The stuff has been cut back, but the brush burning, there is no real second step after that. So that will slowly grow back in the spring, and the stuff has been stunted for the time being. Going down to 450, our traffic division is still doing the investigation on that. That's not in the maintenance section. So we don't have any update on specifically for the 450 for the pedestrian fatalities. I got an answer on this today, actually. The exit sign at the interloop, we had the state sign crew lined up to come repair that. Right before they were coming out to repair that sign apparently has actually been taken down on purpose for a project that they're doing. We found that out today, and they're going to be putting that sign back up when the project's done. I don't have any information on what that project is, but that's where we're at with that. So you should expect to see that down probably for another couple of months. We are going to look at installing a temporary exit sign in its place now that we know that. Old Marlboro Pike on John Rogers Boulevard. Unfortunately, there is no real update on this. The state is now looking into acquiring the property, going through that process to get what we need in order to do the repair. There's two separate homeowners associations on each side of that. One is in support of us getting it done as quickly as we can. The other one, without getting into too much detail, is looking for compensation to give us that right away. CSX Railroad on Hall Road. Senator Charles's office was able to get a contact person, and I think also their government affairs liaison maybe gave you guys the contact person. The shop has reached out to that individual, and we're waiting to hear back. For everybody on the call, that was relatively very recently that we got that number. But Ernie reached out Senator Charles directly, and we're going to let you know how we go with that.
I appreciate that. This is Terry Nuruddin. Thank you.
And no promises, but we're working on it slowly. There is no update on the Wilson Bridge. The contract for our Prince George's County lighting, it got held up in BPW, and I think they just got through the back side of that. Board of Public Works is where, who's in that? Senator Charles, I know the governor, the treasurer.
Governor, the state treasurer, and the comptroller. They make up the Board of Public Works.
Yeah, and they approve our larger contracts. And there were some questions there, I think, about their minority business goals or something came up with that. So I think they worked through that, and they're still working on that. Now, our contractors at the Woodrow Wilson Bridge that are shared with the Virginia Department of Transportation are still working on getting everything on their end fixed to go live with the powers. The work is currently in progress. That you should have seen some progress with that. If I wish Ernie was on the call because he was actually looking into that. But if anybody on 210 and Piscataway Livingston, let me know if there's any current issues with that still, please, in the chat. 95, 202, and Route 5. I do have photos of this, but they have been working on picking up a lot of the area, specifically between 202 and St. Barnabas Road. So they've been out there doing cycles. Got some photos of that we'll come back to in a couple minutes. Route 4 is similar answer to that. They've done cycles. Ernie could have commented on the trash and mattresses and removal of barriers. I believe the barriers were replaced, I think. He did send me photos of sand-filled barriers getting replaced. Trash cleanup on Route 5, Route 210, and the Beltway.
Oh, your suitcase on the street.
What's that? Okay. Route 5 and the Beltway, they have done significant work on 210. I'm seeing in the chat that it looks like maybe we're not on 210. So I will definitely follow up with that first thing tomorrow morning. And we will rectify that issue with everything that's on 210 since the chat's coming up. So I don't have any update on a traffic signal at Livingston Road and Berry Road. I will find out. I will reach out to our traffic assistant district engineer tomorrow and try to get an answer on that. Drainage issues at the corner of 4 and Penn. We have put in a highway hydraulics request in our highway hydraulics division for everybody who doesn't know or hasn't heard us talk about it. They are our hydraulic experts for the state of Maryland, SHA. They'll come in, do an assessment, and then actually give us plans on how to get that fixed. And they should be out within the next probably 6 weeks to do that and get us a plan back. Paving issues. One thing I'm going to go into after we get done going through this is I do have a list of everything that is currently identified to be paved for the remainder of this fiscal year and FY25 that we can go through. This specifically, we've done a lot of talking in the past probably 2 weeks about this little part of the service road. Our construction contractor and our construction management has combined with the forces at the Marlboro shop are coming up with a plan to get this 100% taken care of. And I believe that was, can't remember who put that in, but I'm hoping they reached out to you and followed up with you guys. But that is coming. So you should see that in the next couple of weeks. We're still looking into the West Vela Road. I wish that Mr. Grover was still on. He could probably comment on that. I will definitely inquire on that and follow up with the group. This was sent to our traffic division to look into. I immediately pulled this out from our previous meeting and sent that to them. So they're coming up with a plan to try to rectify or mitigate the issues once they figure them out. Road cleaning schedule. We've kind of talked about that earlier in the meeting. I don't think we need to revisit unless somebody has a specific question for that topic. Speed camera. Is there? I'm not familiar. What is Rosaryville and Frank Tippett? Can somebody? Are those county roads?
I believe they are county roads.
That's on 301, Justin. It's on 301.
Oh,
okay.
Is it off of 301 or is it? I thought Rosaryville and Frank Tippett were county roads.
Yeah, it is county roads right off of 301.
okay.
I don't know whether it's county or state. I'm not sure if there's a speed camera there. It wouldn't be through the state highway administration, regardless of who it is, because we don't, as an organization, deal with speed cameras.
There is no speed camera there. There is no speed camera there. That red light, when the light is red on for Rosaryville traffic, you have folks that are in that far right lane. They don't stop, they don't yield, they keep going if they see that there's nothing turning off of Rosaryville, making a left onto Frank Tippett. I have noticed that so many times. They do not stop for a red light and then proceed if there's no traffic. That is an accident waiting to happen right there.
So with respect to speed camera requests, there is a newly established committee at the county level. It's the police department and a committee with appointed individuals by the council that now consider where speed cameras should go. And they've just started meeting. So I think they are finalizing a list now, or in the process of going through a list and making determinations about where these cameras should go.
So who should be contacted to inquire about that issue?
I'll get you contact. It's the police department, but I want to get you a specific name. So I'll look that up for you.
And we have Corporal Wolford, who's on Prince George's Police Department. Corporal Wolford, did you want to chime in? Corporal? Okay.
No, I couldn't get, yeah, no, I don't, right now they're in the transition of speed cameras, so I can get the information from next time, but it's just. Hello?
Yep, there you go, Corporal.
Yeah, there's a transition in on the speed cameras, but to get the contact, I have to look for the contact. I'm not sure who's in control of the speed cameras because it's ran to a revenue authority also.
Okay.
Hey, Nick, can I ask you a question?
Go ahead, Ms. Phyllis.
You know, when they do the patching of the streets, when the contractors come out and pave the road, it looked like they patched the same area instead of doing the whole exact road, like Walker Mill Road. Walker Mill looks horrible. They will patch the patch holes, but won't pave the whole road, or some section will be paved and the other section wouldn't be. Some section, and it looked like they do the same section over and over again instead of starting from Addison Road, going all the way down to the end of the road where the park is. They don't go that far. They might do patches in a row. Who is the contractor that's doing that? Look like they should do the whole entire road instead of doing it just in patches.
Ms. Phyllis, can you be specific to that area? Put it in the group chat. That way,
yes,
they can get you an answer to that.
Okay, Addison Road and Walker Mill, the start, and at the bottom is Richie Marlboro Road. That's one whole road. That road looks awful. It's in patches. It's not smooth. It's not a smooth road.
Okay.
So I'll make sure she put it in the chat for me. Thank you so much.
All right.
Hey, Senator Charles, before you move on, could I just say one thing? Is that okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to back up for a minute. You were talking about this committee that was started at the county level. It's with District 6 in Walla my name is Delton Turman, and I'm co-chair of that committee. So anyone who wants to contact us can do so at District Council 6, co.pgmd.us. So just drop us an email of any location that you're having problems with, and we will address that.
Hey, Mr. Delton, can you go ahead and put that in the chat so they can capture your email address?
Yeah, I certainly will.
All right.
All right. Thank you. Sorry for interrupting.
No problem.
I couldn't get to my Zoom.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, Justin, let's knock the rest of these actions out.
Yes, sir. The 95 specifically between 214 and Route 5, they've been out there picking up litter. We have some photos of that. I'll show you in a couple of minutes. Route 5. I know Ernie is working. It's a large sign. Once again, with our statewide sign team to replace that. I'll get or he'll be on next meeting, and hopefully by then it's done. So you should expect that. Route 564, I don't necessarily recall what that was about.
So this was a document that came from the concerned citizens of Old Bowie. We had sent it to you and you said that you would break it out.
I got you. We're still looking into those roads and what has been done down there versus what hasn't. I'll follow up with you directly once I get that.
Cool, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. There we go. So go through these real fast. Just some shots over the past month of couple areas they've been in, and I requested them to start sending me as many photos as possible, and I've got probably 1,000 of them. So this is just a little snapshot, but this is, we're looking at 95. 95 again. That's 95. All of these are 95. Before and afters. And can you go back one, Becca? So that's right at Pennsylvania Avenue and 95 for that area that we specifically just talked about. So those are before and afters. All right, that is Route 5. But a couple of comments that hasn't been picked up. There's the trash. That's the crew picking up in the median of Route 5. And that looks like it's maybe down near Naylor or Curtis Drive, I'm assuming. Route 5 again in the median. That's the before picture. We just looked at the after picture a minute ago. That's another before picture of the crews working out there. That's Route 4, and that's Route 4. That's Route 4. Same. Route 4. This is at 223. This is one of our concerns was illegal dumping and illegal debris in that area. This is them removing that area.
What part of 223 is that?
1 second, I can tell you specifically.
While you're doing that, I have a concern. I have sent in on numerous occasions. I called into 311 and they sent me to another website to voice my concerns as soon as you turn off of 301 onto Rosaryville, right by there's a church right there. From as soon as you turn off 301 onto Rosaryville, going up for about probably a few yards. The street there is just a mess. There are holes there, there are patches there, part of it is worn down. There are holes all over in that area. When they did the construction there on Rosaryville, the contractors did pave the part that they were working at, yes. But I have sent in so many requests as of last spring, it's almost a year. And the end of that street is still full of potholes, still uneven pavement there. I mean, how long does it take to get these things done? And two, has anything even been done about it?
So Justin or?
Yeah, I don't think the paving on Rosaryville was us, I don't believe.
Who should
Yeah,
that, who should
that if you've already put it in 311, then I can pull it from there and see where we are on it.
Oh, shoot. Like I said, it's almost a year because I know it was last spring when I called in. And I just can't imagine some of you not at some point riding through there. It's like with the members that are, with the council, with all of these different committees, with all of these different agencies. I mean, when you're riding through and you see things, do you make note of it? Do you point it out? Do you get attention to it? Or you just, is it just one time I'm going through here and it's not a concern?
No, we absolutely do. This is a very large county, and there are a number of miles of roads, and so there is a there's a plan for repavings, and it has to do with conditions of roads. There's also a backlog, and so we're working to address that backlog. We have been working for at least a year and a half, where we started out with 18,000 backlog, and now we're down to 6, and we're looking to be at 0 by the end of the year. But so we are plugging along, but we do have some outstanding issues, and some of those bigger ticket issues like major road repairs, they are a challenge in this budget. We have a new budget cycle coming up now, so there may be a number of roads that have been added to the list, and that may be one of them, or there may be some flexibility. So that's why I wanted to get that number in the check to see where we are with it.
Rodney, I'd like to ask you a question, sir.
Yes.
You said you went down and you have like 6. So when you start a project, like the young lady was saying on that road, like I'm speaking about Walker Mill and Addison Road going all the way down. If you see that it's patches and patches and patches, the construction people that's doing the work, they should be able to see that they need to go all the way down from the beginning. But they stay at one spot and they just patch the patch hole. So do you all get a record of what they're doing?
Yeah, but also since I've been on this side, I've learned a whole lot more about what goes into doing those roads. And sometimes they are, you've seen these markings on the road. Sometimes they're utility issues that won't allow you to move forward with repavings yet. Sometimes there are permits that have been placed on the roads by WSC or someone, some utility agency. And so we won't pave the road only to have it dug up again and repave it again. Now, sometimes even though those permits are pending, the work doesn't get done right away. We don't have any control over that. But that's, just some of the considerations that go into paving the road. It's just not a matter of looking at it and saying this needs to be done and moving forward with it. So I'll look into this to see what the specific challenges are with this and let you know.
So when a utility has to dig up an area that they're doing whatever project or construction with, are they not responsible to repave that, to make that repair? Is that on the state or the county?
They make the repair, but they don't repave the entire street. They'll just fix that section.
Is that the same thing that goes on when you, when you turn off of Rosaryville Road, make a left off of Rosaryville onto 223, and you go around that short curve there? Ever since I have been living out here now going on 4 years, right at the pit of that curve, there has always been, and even before I moved out here, I would visit out here, and going back around right in the pit of that curve, there are always potholes there. You can tell where they have patched it, and their part of the concrete is higher than the other, or now it's worn down where it's just natural holes in the concrete. And that's been like that now, like I said, going on 4 years. It's never a smooth ride through that area. And what's happening, people are swerving out of that right lane, trying to swerve around those potholes, which I do the same. And then that traffic is meeting you at that curve. And the curve is dangerous enough as it is, but those holes have been there ever since I've been out here and before.
Okay, can you please add that to the chat?
I will.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I'll see what I can do and where we are with it.
Thank you.
All right.
Justin, did we want to go through this lastly?
I'll go through this real fast. This is for FY 20 year, I'm sorry, 25, which starts in July and runs through to the next June. These are PG County paving sites, and this kind of ties into what was just said and explaining how asphalt works and the different techniques of fixing it and the root causes and what the process are. I mean, we could have a 5-hour conversation about all that. So what the state does and the county, everybody who does asphalt does. We have a paving contract, which is where you're going to pave an extended section of roadway, and that's where they're actually going to mill off. Typically it's 2 inches, and they're going to replace that with 2 inches of surface asphalt. And that is what you would probably consider redoing a roadway. That will be it. So they're going to be on 95 at Maryland 4. That's actually moving to this fiscal year. 301 from the way station to Trade Zone Avenue, 214 again, the ramps at 95. The 214 from Maryland 202 to Campus Drive, Maryland 5, 410, and then the ramp for 410 and the US 50 to Pensy Drive. The PG County patching that's where they're going to be doing patch jobs. What a patch job is where you see a larger square cut out on the road. That means that something in the sub base of that has failed. They're going to go down. They dig all the way down to the sub base, which is GAB or CR6, which is stone. They fix that and then they bring it all the way back up to the road surface. So these are the areas that are going to be doing large patches in. Typically, you do large patches before you would go back in and pave. There's a step of processes that you go through, like a 1 through 7 in the lifespan of a roadway to get to the resurfacing aspect. You want to look through those real quick. We got 301, 381, 382, 414, 197, 450, 410, 210, 5, 458, 637, and 212 for those roads. Scrolling down, this is what's remaining for this year. Pretty much the 295, 193, 95 ramps, that whole interchange, 382, 450, and then the patching, we have 193, 214 from Addison to Hampton Park Boulevard, 95, 595, which is US 50, and then crack sealing, which is another one of those steps that you do. That's typically your first step in doing asphalt repairs in the life cycle is 95 and then 50. So a lot of things and a lot of the stuff that's on this list has been brought up in these meetings, and that's how that actually got on the list. So if we have any other areas, please put them in the chat. That way I can discuss with our construction division to get them to go out there and take a look at it. Back out, I think that's all I got.
All right. Justin, I appreciate that. It's 8:30 now. We've got about, I've seen probably about 60, 70 actions and questions that's come through. Some have already been answered. What my team is going to do is capture each one of these actions and put it in the action list. We still got a lot of open action still, Justin and Rodney, that we still need to close out. And in addition to that, one, thank you for what you guys are doing, but we still got a lot more to do, a lot more. And I know a lot of this has to do with budgeting. We need to figure out how many pens you guys need to get filled so you can have more people to help close this gap. Because like as I came back home from Annapolis, I just saw trash all over the place. And it's, I know we were getting the handle of it, but somehow it just seemed like it's getting out of hand again. And I felt like we were getting some good control over it. So what it seems like is we need to have more people on staff to be able to address these issues and these concerns. And the same thing for Rodney. One of the things that Mr. Johnson was doing, Rodney, was as we talked about roads and some of these actions that I've looked at, people want to know when some of these county roads are going to be repaved. It would be good to have you take these actions out of there and add to a list of whatever the county has on. You got to have a schedule somewhere to say over the next 5 years, these are the roads you plan to pave, and you can let folks know specifically where these roads fall on the list. So folks somewhat have a understanding of where they are. And if it's something that's serious in need and that's a danger to somebody or to the community, that road ends up getting pushed up to a higher level to get addressed. But people need to know that. And what that's going to require is you taking all of these requests that they have and putting them in the list to figure out where they fall in line and give people an answer within the next 30 days to address this. Same thing with the police. I saw your question in there, Mr. Holloway, about the fines. And, you know, a part of that, we had a bill that came before my committee in the Senate the other day, which it was actually two bills. One in particular, when it came to litter, and the city of Baltimore has something where they're taking those pictures and posting those pictures on social media to so folks can see the folks that are dumping. We can find out who these people are to bring them to justice for what they're doing. So I asked to have Prince George's County added on to that bill that Baltimore City is doing, so we can have some provisions that we can do in our county as well. And the same thing kind of happened with that CSX bill. The reason why CSX is moving a little faster, they had their lobbyists within the meeting in this hearing, and another legislator had put a bill in to hold a lot of the carrier companies accountable if they had an impact on any of the roads and they didn't do anything to fix it. So I brought that up in the hearing that we had, and CSX, you know, they immediately responded and said, "We hear you loud and clear, Senator Charles. We'll work with them." So I put everybody together so they can close the gap and fix whatever that issue is that CSX has with the railroad crossing as well. But what we're going to do is, like I said, go through all of the actions, add them to the action list, get it to Rodney and get it to Justin, and then have them get us an answer. They got 30 days to get back to us to let us know what's going on. I see Mr. Delton, you got the traffic calming in District 6, you know, with Walla. I think that's a good another good meeting, another good segue. So keep, you know, don't hesitate to share information with this group so everybody knows what's going on, because that's a major concern, especially on that backside with all of the speeding that goes on up and down. And
okay.
And thank you to Corporal Wooford for standing in the gap and continuing to show up as well, and to answer questions, because, you know, it's a collaborative effort between county roads, between state roads, between the police chiming in, and now also I think we really need to get these folks from the Federal Park Service to address the Suitland Parkway piece. So I think that's going to be critical for the state and for the county to build that rapport and be able to coordinate whenever issues are happening along Suitland Parkway, because they can try to forget about us, but the squeaky wheel always gets the oil. So we need to make sure we're making noise to that particular agency so they know that we need to see some changes specifically. Before we close out, I'm going to see I had a question from Mr. Michael and Venetia.
Thank you, Senator Charles. I just wanted to say to Mr. Streeter, I don't think that you were here when last year, Mr. Johnson, the director of DPWD, as you know, actually told us that both South Springfield Road and Gardner Road would be repaved. He said for South Springfield, it would be repaved by the end of last year's construction year. And it was, he said it would be started by that time. And it was, and it looks very good. Gardner Road, he said, would be started before the end of the 2024 construction year, which of course would be by the end of September of this year. So we have time. But the reason I bring this up is because when I spoke with Adam Duran and DPWT, I'm sure you know him, on yesterday, he said, oh yeah, that road, there's a lot of issues and you know, it's gonna be $2 million. We don't have $2 million. So I just wanna know, because it actually was in the plan. I didn't see the plan, but of course, Mr. Johnson told us in the meeting that it was, when it was, the construction date was scheduled to start. So my question is just, is it actually gonna get started, or is that $2 million gonna be cost prohibitive?
Yeah, this is the first I'm hearing of this issue, and I did see where you asked that question in chat, and I thought I responded. But I'll find out some information from Director Johnson in the morning and respond to you.
Okay,
See where
thank
we are.
you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And before I close out, listen, the whole basis of this meeting is if you see something, say something. Only way, this is a large county, and if we want to see the change across Prince George's, we have to be our own eyes and ears. These government agencies don't have all of the resources that we would love to give them. And so they're not all up and down the road as they should be. So if you see something, do not hesitate. Do not think it's annoying. Address that, put it in front. I know whenever I see anything, I'm immediately calling Justin on about state road issues. And so, and same thing for Rodney and his boss, Mr. Johnson. So please do the 311 and keep track of your numbers too, because it's one thing to say you put the request in, but when you're able to show that you've done 5 requests and here are the numbers, that's something that we can truly hold over the agency's head. Like, hey, we got 5 requests and here are those numbers. What have you done about these? So I'll make sure we hold them accountable to that. So,
Senator, excuse me, for you and Rodney, it's been about 5 years now that I have made a suggestion to the county and the state concerning cleaning up 2 things. One is to get rid of the tires that was being discarded and thrown all over the place. Canada take those tires and they grind them up, they put them in with the asphalt, and it keeps these holes from coming back, one right after the other. And I been making this suggestion to the state and the county for about 5 years, and they told me they were going to look into it, and I've never seen anything from that. Taking the tires, old tires, instead of throwing them away, grind them up and mix them in with that asphalt, and it give the road not only a cushion, but it also makes it so those potholes don't come right back. And I was just wondering if there's perhaps something that someone can look into on that and see how to do it. I was told, yeah, that's a great idea. We're going to look into it, but I've never seen or heard anymore.
you took the words out of my mouth. I was about to say it's a great idea, but I had never heard that from you. So, because it's my first time, I'm gonna go ahead and say it's a great idea, and we can start, talk with Justin and I know there was a company you I don't think you were on the call for that one, Mr. Edwards, about it was a huge dumping, and they brought in pictures to show, and that company and the folks who did the dumping ended up getting prosecuted for what they did. But to your point, all of these tires that we're finding could be adding towards cutting cost on asphalt if you grind it up and utilize those a lot of that raw material.
Yes,
Senator, I've seen the same process in Germany also, in West Germany. Yeah, they've been doing it for years.
Yes, sir. You're right.
Thank you so much, Nick, for having us all on here. We truly appreciate you.
No, thank you, Miss Phyllis. And like I said, everybody, if you got issues, say something and let's figure it out. But Mr. Edwards, I'll figure out with DPWT and with MDOT how they're where they're getting their raw material. Because to your point, we got all these tire shops, and when they dump it, that's free material. That's free dumping.
That's right.
Shoot, if I was a tire company, I'd be trying to sell it. I'll grab it myself and sell it to the county so they get some good material,
Yeah.
And that could be something that we start having conversations with those business owners. instead of dumping the tires, hey, this is a
right.
commodity at this point. You could take this
That's
stuff, grind it, and sell it.
Yes. Thank you.
It would definitely be nice because we're seeing too many holes. And I was beginning to think, to be honest, that contractors were just doing that on purpose so they can keep coming back and making money, because there's no way, especially coming up in Wilburn, the way that hole keeps coming back and forth, back and forth. It's crazy. So to be able to see them really care enough to do something to make a difference would be awesome.
Yes, it would. Thank you, Belinda. Yes,
And-
you're right.
And thank you, Senator Charles, for having these meetings. It's so helpful to all of us.
May I ask, when is your next meeting?
So it's every fourth Tuesday of the month at 7 p.m.
The next meeting will be on March 26th at 7 p.m. and it'll be at the same exact Zoom meeting link.
And Mr. Edwards, since you brought that up, man, it sounds like a business model that you about to jump on. I can already see you rolling around door to door. Asking, let me get those tires from you, real.
We need to jump on that. The county needs to jump on and make some money.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, everybody. Thank you all for joining us again tonight. We'll get the actions out in the same fashion that we've always done. We send it out to everybody with the updates, and you get to see what we see. And so we'll go from there and close this meeting out. The time is now 8:36. And I'd like to thank you all for participating with us this month, for the month of February. And I'm still in session. We got about 40 some minutes left. They kicking my butt over here, y'all, but I'm seeing it through.
You're doing a good job. Keep up the good work.
That's right. That's
God
right.
bless.
I agree. Keep
Tell
up the
them, wait a
good
minute,
work.
Nick, tell them about District 25 night.
Oh, I'm glad you said that, Belinda. Thank you. Look, Belinda, there you go. I'm about to bring you on over on the team over here.
No. We're gonna keep her.
In there.
So District 25 night is Monday, March 11th, 2024, from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock p.m. What we're going to do, we're bringing everybody out. We're going to have some refreshments. It's going to be in Annapolis, so you come on out. It's at the Governor Calvert House, 58 State Circle, Annapolis, Maryland. And what we're doing is, we're going to walk through the legislation that we have collectively, some of the top issues that we're addressing right now. We just had to take a tough vote today on the juvenile reform laws to address a lot of this youth crime that's taking place throughout the state of Maryland. And so that's place today. But we're talking March 11th, 2024, Governor Calvert House. And then after that, we'll be, we have to be on the floor at 8 o'clock at night on that Monday. And so what we're doing is asking all of the residents to come with us to the House and the Senate, and we'll acknowledge all of our residents from the floor. So you can sit in the gallery, and we'll welcome you all to the Maryland State Senate and to the Maryland State House.
Are you providing transportation for our seniors?
So Karen is working that. We got a bus, but it's only, I think, like 20 seats. And so I know she's pushing out
Better than that.
Well, she put she put out an email asking people to sign up for the bus today.
Yeah,
because it's going to be first come, first serve on the bus.
First come, first serve.
Yeah, I sent it out to a lot of you guys, and you're on my list. I always send it out. So I'll check the email.
Yeah. So, but I'm hopefully I get to see you all out in Annapolis. What we plan to do is for everyone who came to our pre-session event, we have all of the concerns and the issues that people brought up pre-session, and so we broke those out, and then we're based off of all of the legislation that we have now that we're supporting, that we've introduced, that address a lot of those problems and concerns that everybody brought up in the pre-session meeting. And then we'll talk about where we are on all of those bills to address everybody's concerns from pre-session. And so it's just a way to have some transparency as to what everybody said the problems were, to what bills we've put in and what bills we're supporting to address those problems. give you a status of where we are and bring you out to Annapolis just so you can be in the know of all of what's happening here. And then after all of this is done, we're going to do a post-session recap to let you know, which more than likely is going to be at Wise High School. We'll do a post-session recap to walk through all of the bills that passed, budget impacts, how much money we were able to bring back to Prince George's County and to the district, and go from there.
I'm looking for volunteers to go to our high school and our schools. We need volunteers. I was at Flowers today, and our students really need us. I tell you, those kids really need us. We don't want them to get in trouble. We need to get in the school system and support our children.
Yes, indeed. And I see Brother Evans with the Omega in the back. We got Manhood 101. You know, the principal over at Phyllis Wright. Miss Phyllis.
At Flowers, Dr. Brown.
Flowers. You know,
that's right.
Norman Brown is my fraternity brother, and he's leading the effort. And my other fraternity brother is the head coach over there at the football team. And so they're tied into that. My brothers are tied into that school very deeply.
I know they supported me when I went to
right.
the school board.
We're everywhere.
Yeah, they was there with me. So I was there today, and I met over 100 children that just wanted to walk the halls, and we had a conversation. So I'm asking anybody, everybody, please, let's reach out and keep our babies safe, because we're in a crisis. We're really in crisis, and we need help over there.
Yep.
Yeah, we need help.
Well,
So
me and Senator Charles spoke last night. I'm Wynn Johnson. Me and Senator Charles spoke last night in reference to that. So I have a program I'm trying to bring in schools, and I was getting his input in reference to how to go about doing it and reaching out to Dr. Brown in reference to that. So I deal with the youth. I have a boxing team, and I deal with at-risk kids. And that's what I do, because
that's what we need. We need all of that.
Kids just need somebody to talk to, like you said.
That's it. That's it.
What I was telling them, because if they come from a broken family or a one-parent family, they don't have nobody to talk to. So they will go talk to the people in the street, and that's what grabs them, the people in the streets. So we got to keep them from doing that. So we're trying to figure out different ways to implement different activities and everything in schools for them, so that we can keep them off the street. So I'm in the midst of doing that, along with working with, I spoke with the sheriff's department and some of the chief of police of PG. So I've been speaking with them in reference to it. So once I get it together, I will present it to Dr. Brown. I wanted to start at Flowers because my kids went to Flowers. Well, my grandson there now. I got another grandson get right into there. So I was going to start there and then spread it throughout the high schools and the rec centers too, because we need to be in the rec centers too. And I know
I just want you to add to you to make sure you partner, because we do have Walker Community Development who has that box, and that you can hook them with Pastor Kenny in there.
That's
and
right.
you guys got to partner together, because that way you're trying to build something. It's something out here similar, and he can definitely use your help. You're saying good things, and you can work with Pastor Kennedy and build that. Actually, someone who came out of his box and just made a title somewhere. So definitely get with him. And there you go.
Yeah, he a champ. So I brought home.
I know who you're talking about.
So when he came to my office and pulled out a picture of the press conference of me giving $150,000 to the boxing gym.
That's right, sure did.
And so and you know,
Senator Charles, can I also, everybody talking about the young folks right now. I go to
excuse me, hold up. Excuse me. Before we get off I'll go back to getting off the subject before. The Governor Calvert House, I had one little question. Y'all can finish talking about the children. I have to get to another call. What time does that event start?
6 o'clock p.m. and it's over at 8. And then we'll go to the House floor at 8 p.m.
Thank you. That's all I.
Okay.
Y'all have a good evening.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Ms. Michelle. But anyway, Senator Charles, I wanted
I'm
to
going to drop it in the chat for y'all. I'm going to drop it in the chat.
Senator Charles, I just wanted to share that.
That's the president.
I go to Galilee Baptist Church in Suitland, Maryland, and we have 2 programs, one for young ladies, ages 13 to 21, called STARS. And then we have one for young men, ages 12 to 21, called Men Under Construction. And we teach them life skills. We teach them how to dress for success. We tell them how to dress for job. We go to some of the richest houses in Potomac to let them see where they could be, right? We have police officers come and talk to them. We have an 8-week class at from 9 to 12 every Saturday, starting March the 9th. Every Saturday at 2101 Shadyside Avenue. That's in Suitland, Maryland. 2101 Shadyside Avenue. That's in Suitland, Maryland. We've been doing stuff in the county for years. We do food in the county, but I wanted to talk about the young folk, how we can help these young folks off the street. So
we got to go into school. We have to go into school. We have to volunteer. And I know you all have programs, but we need to go in there and go one-on-one. I was in it today. I'm 63 years old. I have 2 children. I have a daughter that's in it, and I met so many young people that just need to listen to them, just to listen to them. And a lot of them are going in the wrong direction. I know we have a lot of things that's going on, but we need to go inside that building and wrap our arms around those kids and start saving our children, because if we don't, they're going to be at our door. They're going to be at our door. So we can't wait for the program. The programs is going to take time. Volunteer, go in and volunteer. I'm a mother. I was in there today. I'm going back tomorrow because I see the need that these children need for us to help them, because they're lost. They are lost. The school is overcrowded. They don't know what they're doing. It's too much.
Hello, everyone. How you
too
guys
much.
doing? I'm Marcus Bledsoe. I'm Shakia Bledsoe's husband. I've been listening to this call. So I'm a teacher that's inside the school. So I think it's the perfect time to chime in addition to first saying thank you, Senator, for helping us all out on all this conversation. But we need, inside the school system, it's more than just another body inside the building. In addition to support across the board, we need financial support, we need social support, and most importantly, the other adults out in the community need to understand it's a teamwork conversation and not just whether their kids are just getting a grade or something. We have to have a better viewpoint on what education even looks like across the board. Right now, as a culture, we are playing with this idea of education, thinking that it's just a means to an end, and we're not valuing it the way it's supposed to be. Now, it's more than just whether any entity comes inside the school or any check is passed. All of these things can't function in silos, and that's what's happening.
That's it.
We have too many times that there's too many
waste.
silos.
It's too much waste. It's too much waste. It's just too much waste. We need to save our babies.
Hey, real quick, everyone, before I know we're going to have to get off this chat soon, but there was somebody had a question about repaving of South Springfield and Gardner Road. I think they already talked about that. We already got that. I'm sorry. Disregard.
Well, thank you so much for listening to me, Nick. I know you want to get off, but you know how I am about these children and our school system. And I love these babies. They are our future. And if we don't step up and help them, I ask parents to go in and see what these teachers go through, because it's just too much. It takes all of us. It's a wraparound service. It takes all of us. And they say, oh, it's mental. It's mental. It's not all mental. That's just an excuse. The COVID, no, that's just an excuse. We need to reach back and take care of our babies because they're lost. They got social media. It's too much. It's just too much going on in there. So I'm asking you guys to support it.
We just released $111 million across the state for behavioral health services to go towards all the schools, a part of the blueprint. And Prince George's got, I believe, $24 million to go towards K-12 education, kids from kindergarten to 12th grade. And a part of that is that money is all when any of the schools send these kids and they see they have a particular issue, they can send them and get some of the behavioral health, mental health services. And so this is a huge part of getting to some of the root causes of problems. Also, that's just one of the many things that the state is doing right now. But everybody,
Thank you, Nick.
No problem. We're gonna finish off with the meeting. you know, this turned from a transportation meeting to a school meeting to a
Yeah,
police
yeah.
meeting
Thank
to
you.
hey, look,
Thank you. You know
we
how it
do
was
it
a
all,
pleasure.
man. We do it all.
Community meeting, community meeting.
That's what
Great
you call a
community.
good meeting.
That's a community meeting. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you.
Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
all.
you.
All right.
Good luck
God
with
bless
y'all.
you all.
All
Hey,
right.
Charles, I'm gonna give it to you tomorrow during the daytime about Parks and Recs, the meeting I had, and about what they want to talk to you about, okay?
All right, cool.
All right, y'all be safe.
Everybody take care.
Thank you.
Right.
Good night,
Right.
everyone.
Right.
Right.
Good night.
I'd like to see some of y'all at Flowers tomorrow. Still trying.
Hey, Becca, were you able to save the chat, all of the messages?
Yep,
Okay.
you got them all.
And it's look like it's still recording. We can hit stop on the